Hey everyone, Scott here from the ClassicL337 podcast, and today I'm going to talk about my impressions of Moondiver, and this footage was captured with the Aver TV USB HD DVR. This really won't be much of a review, just a look at the Xbox Live Arcade version and a few points about the game that I really enjoyed. My co-host Tony did an awesome review that went really in depth when the game came out for the PlayStation Network, so for the official Classic Elite review of Moondiver, please check out the show notes below. Alright, well, let's get started. Now, I have not played this game on the PlayStation, only on the Xbox. But looking at Tony's review, the game looks identical visually on both platforms, which is really good. And speaking of how the game looks, just overall, in my opinion, it is a really good-looking game. There's clearly an anime art style, but for me, my favorite part is that they use a very dark color palette and still manage to make the game easy to see. We've all played games where certain areas have looked a little too dark and you're not really sure where you're supposed to go. And for me, I didn't have that problem. The platforms and dangerous areas were both clearly defined, so I didn't feel lost or anything like that. Now, I did a little bit of light Googling, and I couldn't come across any real differences between the PlayStation Network and the Xbox Live Arcade versions. So if you do happen to know of any major differences between the two games, please leave a comment so that any viewers will be able to be aware of the differences. Now, let's take a look at the controls. They're pretty good. They're not perfect, but they are pretty good. Because of the fact that I'm using the analog stick, they can feel a little bit slippery. I wish that I could swap the analog stick and the D-pad's functions. I'm a retro gamer. This game tailors to retro gamers, so I would prefer to use the D-pad to control my character and then use the analog stick to control different powers. Now, I only really noticed this because the platforming gets more difficult as the game goes along. This is a good thing. This is what platforming games should do, but I feel like it would be a little less slippery if I was able to use the D-pad versus having to use the analog stick. Now, the music in the game is really engaging. It's something that I love to play really loud on my surround sound system. There's times where you can't help but feel a little bit pumped up by the music that's going on, so that's pretty cool. Leveling up happens quickly. I really like that because this game is really difficult. So it goes from really difficult to just hard in a short amount of time after you repeat a level a couple of times. And I didn't feel like I was grinding, even though I would have to replay a level a few times before I was able to get through it. So, overall, the music's great, the game looks good, overall the controls are pretty good. So, this game is just flat out fun to play, both locally in multiplayer, or in a single campaign, or online. Now, I agree with Tony, if you've watched his review, it's more fun to play with somebody that you actually know than to play with a stranger. But if you're a fan of difficult platforming games or a fan of the original Strider, then definitely get this game. So, for more information on Classic Elite, please visit ClassicL337. For more information on this game and the official Classic Elite review, please check out the show notes below. Thanks a lot for watching.